Hello, I'm John Weeks and here is your Cop26 roundup from the Evening Standard. Today kicked off with the first draft of a document laying out the decisions countries need to make to try to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees. It was published this morning and urges leaders to set out long-term strategies by the end of next year to reach net zero emissions by around 2050. Negotiators from nearly 200 countries will now work to strike a final deal before the summit ends on Friday. Boris Johnson returned to the conference today, reportedly taking the train to Glasgow after criticism over his flight to Scotland last week. But it was Cop26 President Alok Sharma who made a speech rounding up how well discussions have gone with just 2 days to go. He said he wants to reach agreements with countries by the end of the week.
We have seen a spirit of cooperation and consensus at the summit thus far. It is a can-do spirit that I hope all parties will want to continue to foster over the coming critical days. I still have the intention for us to be able to close COP26 at the end of Friday. Everyone must come armed with the currency of compromise. We all know what is at stake in these negotiations and indeed the urgency of our tasks. In very human terms, what we agree in Glasgow will set the future for our children and grandchildren. And I know that no world leader or country will want to fail them.
Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon was at the conference again today too. She was asked whether she thought Boris Johnson is the right man to get negotiations over the line.
Everybody knows my political disagreements with Boris Johnson, but I am absolutely behind him in efforts to get this agreement over the line and where it needs to be, and I wish him well as he brings his efforts to bear over the course of today. If necessary, he should stay now until the end of this COP to make sure no stone is left unturned, and I've made clear to the Prime Minister and do so again right now. Anything I can do to help him in that effort, I will certainly do.
There was a warning though from Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, at the conference, who said governments aren't doing enough to convince the public to take action.
Here we are, just a couple of days to go. We're in danger of missing the temperature target, but also missing the point of this, which was to kind of get the country behind the drive to net zero. And what I keep saying, you've got to root this in the real world. Show people how it can reduce the cost of living by cutting fares, rail fares, bus fares. Show people that if we retrofit homes, that can reduce their energy bills. And that, I think, is what's been lacking here. How will it make a difference for me in my life, and why is it worth getting behind? And I don't think our government, or any government actually, has put policies on the table that will really connect with people. So it's not done it yet. We're in danger of missing that sort of big point of COP.
Now, the focus of today was all about transport, how we can introduce more electric vehicles and make aviation and shipping more green. Among the pledges made was the Clydebank Declaration, which declares ambitions of countries to establish zero-emission shipping routes between ports. They're called Green Corridors. Johanna Christiansen from the Global Maritime Forum spoke at the conference about how optimistic they are about it.
We recently found that more than 10% of global shipping could feasibly shift it to zero-emission fuels by 2030. That leaves us a lot of room to work within, and we hope that many will work with us together to achieve that somewhere between 5 and 10% adoption of zero-emission fuels across the full shipping value chain. And that potential is particularly promising along green corridors. And we hope that we can replicate them and have many, many corridors operating on zero-emission fuels, and many vessels operating along them on zero-emission fuels in the immediate, the near term.
And a video circulating today has made the headlines for showing just how quickly a glacier has been melting in Iceland. The time-lapse footage, captured by a University of Dundee expert, shows the glacier melting faster than it can recover over a 6-week period. Tomorrow is the last day of COP26 with a dedicated programme, and it'll be all about buildings. There'll be discussions on what cities, regions and the private sector are doing to make them more energy efficient. For the latest updates, visit the website standard.co.uk, where we'll be covering the latest from the climate conference in Glasgow. That's it from the Evening Standard COP26 update. Join us again tomorrow.